Oh, you guys know what it is, man. First off, I want to shout out Bethesda for sending IOP a review code. This video wouldn't be possible if they didn't do that. You know, let's talk a little bit. This isn't going to be your standard. I played Starfield and beat Starfield. I didn't beat Starfield. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. I even got my headset on. We in the Starfield hype right now. I didn't beat Starfield, guys. I had a lot of stuff going on, and I was playing a few games at the same time. But I got about 80 hours in the damn thing. And I want to give you my general impressions, and also what I want to do in this video is talk about where Xbox goes from here. Now, is Starfield a good game? I'm sure the majority of you are in this. I'm taking this off. Is Starfield a good game? I'm sure the majority of you, that's the biggest question. We've been hearing about this game for so long, it's kind of unreal that it exists. And I'm going to tell you right now, Starfield is definitely a Game of the Year contender. I'm still a little bit torn between that and Baldur's Gate, who I personally think is Game of the Year. But Starfield does so many good things, man. Have they messed up in the past? Yes. I would say that Bethesda with Fallout 76 was one of those incidences where it pretty much butchered their studio, their reputation, even though the studio that made Starfield didn't really work on Fallout 76. Would any one of your sister studios or any one of your branches make a game on the level of Fallout 76, is going to hurt everyone. Throughout history, when you play these Bethesda games, there's always glitches, there's always bugs, but most of the time it's important to get the game-breaking bugs out of there and just have the funny, ha-ha bugs. Let's talk about performance. I actually played this on Windows and I played this on Xbox, and look, clearly on Windows it runs better. There's no denying that. But I have to give my hat off. If I had one, I don't have a hat. I'd have to tip my hat off to Bethesda. This is one of the only times I've played a 30 frame game where it felt comfortable. And, I think a lot of it was to do is because it doesn't have a whole lot of dips. For the most part, the game is very, very stable. Now, obviously, I'm going to say this, and Digital Foundry is going to destroy that statement. I don't know. To me, the game run pretty well. And you guys know me. For years, I've been covering games. I'm not the biggest person when it comes to, whether or not a game drops. If it's not noticeable, even if it drops a couple of them, it doesn't really bother me too much. Now, there was a couple incidences where it did drop, and it was noticeable, but 70, 80 hours of gameplay, I only came across that once or twice. Now, Bethesda has a nickname, Bugthesda. And I know a lot of you is going to ask me, Addict, is this Bethesda? I'm happy to tell you no. This is the most polished Bethesda game that's ever existed. And I'm beyond excited for that. When you go and you look at something like Fallout 76, Fallout 3, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, Morrowind, Oblivion, they always had a lot of jank in them. They always had a lot of issues out the gate. Sure, it was fixed relatively fast, but there was always issues. Matt Booty said 6 months ago or something like that, maybe a year ago, that if they released Starfield that day, it would be the most polished game they've ever made. And that was then. Imagine now where we are. We are a year into development from that time, if it was a year ago. And he's completely right. Out of the amount of time I played, I would say I had a couple glitches, little funny glitches. I had someone's head disappear and it was only eyeballs. I had people's hair go missing once or twice. It wasn't even a lot. I did have one game-breaking thing that I had to actually reach out to Bethesda to get some conclusion on whether or not it was fixed. And it did seem like the day one patch fixed it. Now, I don't know if that's everyone or if it's just me. They explained to me a good way of going about it, and I did. I digress. It was a faction quest. It was one of the last missions. If you guys see it, definitely put in the comment section below if you guys are having that same issue. But I was having issues with that. Now, I didn't go back and like replay it, but that was the only real big game breaking issue I had. And in all sense of reality, I just reloaded the last save and it didn't really like hinder my gameplay experience. You know, combat, this is the best combat that Bethesda's ever done. You know, and I'm very, very skeptical when I hear about Bethesda doing like a shooting type of game without VATS from Fallout. Because I feel like VATS really helps, you know, bridge that gap between like kind of like clunky gameplay when it comes to shooting and clean, precise gameplay. And a lot of people love VATS. VATS is one of the most loved mechanics that's in gaming. And that's not in Starfield. So I was very, what's what I'm looking for, nervous on whether or not the actual combat and the gun combat would actually feel nice. And it did. They had a variety of different guns. They had shotguns, rifles, handguns. I had a handgun that shot 3 bullets. I had a shotgun that shot like a line magazine. It looked like a space shotgun. You know, they have different factions do stuff. You know, it is a very, very good variety in terms of combat when you want to shoot people. Now, I don't know how it really worked too much when it comes to melee. I didn't build anything around it, and I didn't really buy much. I did get legendary weapons that I would sell because I wasn't a melee character. I mainly went towards arms. But I can see after reading some of those that there is a good ground and a good foundation to building, you know, a melee build in Starfield. Space combat. We all know that was the key component to Starfield is how are they going to handle space combat? Because everything else, when it comes to companions, when it comes to how the world's built, the immersion, when it comes to combat, you can build off a foundation of another game pretty relatively easy. But space combat's new. It's brand new, never been done before. So I was skeptical again. Are they going to be able to do this well? Is it going to feel fair? Is it going to be fun? The biggest skeptical thing I had was the space combat going into Starfield. And the most fun I had in Starfield was space combat. I ain't gonna lie to you. I try to be a good guy. I try to be a civil citizen of society. Well, all the societies. Because, you know, obviously there's multiple planets and multiple galaxies. I became a space bandit when I realized how enjoyable to me the space combat was. I made a lot of money just taking over ships, which for those of you who don't know, if you take out their engines, you can dock them and you can go into their ship. You could take out the crew and then you can take the ship for yourself as long as you have the piloting skill to do so. I enjoyed it, guys. They got a lot of in-depth space building, ship building. That is a very good concept that's in this game. And I think a lot of you are going to enjoy it. I ended up going from like a very fast ship to like a tank ship that's slow, but it hits hard. It's good, man. It's good. Companions, I say the companions could have improved a little bit on here. I didn't really come across too many on my playthroughs because I usually play these games alone. Now, you can put companions on certain things on your ship, so I want that to be really clear. But for the most part, the companions do what the companions are supposed to do. They're there to help you, give you feedback. Their actual skills can help you. Like, for instance, I wasn't really a good in persuasive, but I had a companion that had decent stats for persuasive. So there was times where I was doing dialogue and it would just let me hit that dude up. So it's interesting. I like that. You know, the immersion and exploration in this game, at first, when I first started playing, I didn't like it. I'm going to be real with you guys. I thought it was, you know, a little bit of like fake exploration. There was a lot of menus. I would have to fly from one planet to another and then hyperspace from one galaxy to another. And to be honest with you, it's still like that. But when you start really piecing together and knowing how the game functions, the Bethesda charm is there. It's just, this is new. This is new uncharted territory. You know, people that love Bethesda games, we know what to expect. But you guys that love Bethesda games, I can tell you right now, you're not going to know what to expect 100% from Starfield. It's a brand new experience that you're going to have to really captivate and sit down and find out how the game functions for you, because it's different for everyone. You know, I just did a 3-hour show with IOP, and all of our experiences was different. And that is a Bethesda game. Starfield is a brand new start for Xbox. They need to be looking at Avowed. They need to be looking at Hellblade. They need to be looking at Fable. All these studios, and they need to make sure 100%. Look, you don't have to come out and be Starfield level, be Starfield exploration, but you got to come out and be Starfield quality. We need that high Metacritic. We need to make a dent and stuff. Now, I don't know what this game's going to score in Metacritic. And at this point, I don't care. It's go high 80s, early 90s is what I would say. At this point, you probably know, because this is going up in embargo. But what I will say is, regardless what this game rates, I enjoyed every hour of this game. And I think all of you that have access to Game Pass, if you want to play Steam, go buy it on Steam. It's definitely worth your money. I put like 80 hours and I'm still itching to get back in there. But that's pretty much all I have for Starfield, man. It's all I really wanted to talk about. You know, I'll put in the comment section below ILP's in-depth, and I mean in-depth, 3 hours, guys. In-depth conversation where me, Cognito, Sovereign, King, you know, shout out to Nick from lordsofgaming.net. We all just come together and we go over all of our experiences. And it's 5 different people playing a Bethesda game. Very great engaging conversation. I think you guys will enjoy it. And, you know, I appreciate everyone for coming through, man. Starfield was a great experience. And one thing I want to say, again, thank you, Bethesda, for the review code. I hope all of you enjoy this. And Xbox did it. It's just, I think they're going to get a lot of good praise and a lot of momentum with Starfield. It's just Xbox, you got to know what to do with this momentum. But anyway, that's it for the video, you guys. I hope you guys have a great day. And put in the comment section below, what do you expect from Starfield? Appreciate it. Have a nice day. Peace.